There's a drunk lady selling jewelry on QVC.
Yes.
Lizzie and Joe were sitting in Hayden Sweet's living room watching QVC. Hayden was gone, out picking up beer, and the couch they were sitting on was orange, old, and small. More of a love seat, really, but they weren't touching at all. There was a lady selling jewelry on television. She dropped the necklace she was holding and then laughed too loudly. Joe said,
"Oh, she's definitely drunk. She must be."
Lizzie laughed. Obviously that's a glass of vodka. Joe said,
"You're right. Nobody drinks water like that."
Lizzie said, nobody sells jewelry like that either. Not even on the Home Shopping Network. Joe was quiet. He stared at the TV and absent-mindedly unzipped and zipped Lizzie's backpack, which had been sitting on the ground. Then he said,
"I should get rich. I need a couple things."
Lizzie said, me too. We should become billionaires. Soon.
Or maybe just famous.
He said,
Let's be famous. People should know about all our sweet stuff.
what stuff? Said Lizzie. Quit playing around in my backpack. Joe reached into Lizzie's backpack and took out her pencil case. Lizzie said, what are you doing with my things? Stop it. Joe started unzipping and zipping the pencil case and then said,
Maybe we should get drunk and sell jewelry on television. That's kind of like being famous, and I doubt it's that difficult. Look, she's talking shit about her ex-husband now. We could get drunk and air our grievances on QVC.
For a moment, Lizzie forgot about her pencil case. She's rich, sure, she joked, but is she happy? Her husband got the plates. Lizzie stared at the TV. So did Joe. And then, methodically, without looking down, he removed the items from the pencil case, laying them side by side on the coffee table. Glue stick, blue drawing pencil, gum eraser, fine point drawing pen, X-Acto knife. When Lizzie noticed what was happening, she said, hey, quit playing with my shit. Joe ignored her. Instead, he said,
True. We'll have to weed out types that will just want to get with us because of our money.
Then he looked down at the supplies he'd lined up on the table.
What's this for?
He asked.
Why do you need a knife?
Graphic design class, she said, where we cut things up. Lizzie changed the channel.
Hey!
Said Joe.
Get back to the crazy drunk lady.
Put my knife back and I'll do whatever you want, said Lizzie.
But wait,
He said,
I like your knife. Can I have it?
are you drinking vodka from a water glass? Lizzie laughed. Of course you can't have my knife. Lizzie continued to flip through the channels until she got back to the lady selling jewelry. Nothing's as funny as QVC, she said. They sat for a moment and watched as the drunk lady displayed a pair of pink Diamonique Mother's Day drop earrings. Then Joe said,
Can I cut you a little with this knife?
Lizzie was quiet. Then Joe, so Joe said,
No, just a little. It won't hurt at all.
Lizzie was still quiet. Joe said,
Just like a little tiny baby cut.
Lizzie said nothing.
You can even cut me first if you want.
Said Joe. Lizzie said, why would I want to cut you? Why would I want you to cut me?
Because it could be fun. You know, blood equals entertainment, right?
No, wrong. That's completely and totally fucked up. I mean, I understand if you want to be blood brothers. Do you want to be blood brothers? But it sounds... Are you some sort of serial killer?
I just think, you know, it would be fun.
QVC is fun, not cutting people with knives.
We just test it out. Do you even know that what your knife is capable of? Do you even know if it works in an emergency? Could it cut skin? If it had to?
It works for my purposes, Lizzie said, which are cutting paper, not people.
But you sort of want to try it a little, right? You sort of wonder what it would be like to feel like, and you definitely wouldn't mind a scar, right? I know you love scars.
Shut up. Lizzie watched the drunk lady for a second. Why do you want to give me one? She asked.
Look,
Said Joe.
not only will this be fun, but also nobody has done this before, so we'll be pioneers. It will be a completely original thing to do.
And you want me to cut you first? That's it?
Easy peasy. You cut me, I cut you.
But I don't know. Why would I do that? It makes no sense. I'm not sure I want to make you bleed.
What else are we gonna do? Watch TV? This is a new, fun thing. A better thing.
Lizzie tried to turn his attention back to the television. But look, she said, the drunk lady is selling rings. Joe rubbed the handle of the knife and looked at her. cut me so badly, she said.
I want to try things.
He said.
Like cutting your skin. I think the world needs us to try this.
And then after, can we be blood brothers? She said.
I don't know. What if you have a disease? I have to think about that. Cut me while I take it into consideration.
Joe handed her the knife, and Lizzy held it for a moment, feeling its smooth metal weight in her hand.
This is going to be awesome, believe me.
Said Joe.
And totally original and better than QVC.
She rubbed the handle of the knife with her thumb, and Joe stretched out his arm, and she held the blade up in the air and looked at it. Where should I cut you? She asked. Will this hurt a lot?
Not much, it'll just be a little cut.
Then he said,
Do it on the underside, the soft part.
Lizzy said, okay, I mean, if you really want me to do this. She held up the blade to the underside of Joe's arm. She pressed down slowly and cautiously. Nothing happened. It's not working, she said. Maybe I can't do it. Maybe the knife can't cut human flesh.
Press harder,
said Joe.
You just have to press harder.
Lizzy tried again, this time pressing harder. Slowly she started to saw the knife back and forth a little. Joe grimaced. She kept trying. Lizzy sawed at his skin for about 15 seconds. Finally, little dots of red started to appear. There, now you're bleeding. Can I stop?
A little more,
said Joe.
Try to get it deeper.
Lizzy continued to push the knife into his skin. After a moment, the cut started to bleed more. Okay, I'm done, she said. I guess it's your turn now. Joe looked approvingly at the blood and took the knife from Lizzy's hand.
I better clean it off then.
He said.
I don't want you getting any horrible disease.
Lizzy said, well, if we're blood brothers, it won't matter. Joe wiped the knife off on his pants. He spit on it and wiped it off again. Lizzy said, okay, I guess you get to cut me now. Lizzy extended her arm. Joe took her elbow and twisted a little so the soft inside part of her arm was exposed. Then in one fast movement, Joe swiped the knife crossways across her inner upper arm. For a moment, there was no blood. Then Lizzy's arm started bleeding. For a second, they both stared at the blood. Someone handed the lady on QVC a pitcher from off camera, and she filled her cup. Okay, said Lizzy. Can you and me be blood brothers now? Joe was quiet. Well, I'm bleeding, you're bleeding, why not then? She said. Joe was quiet for a second and then said,
It's just not the best idea, you know?
Joe wiped off the blade again on his pants. Lizzy said, no, I don't know. I mean, I let you cut me. We should at least be blood brothers now, right? Joe licked his fingers and pressed them into the cut. He lifted them up again and looked at the blood. Then he licked them again and put them back in the cut. Why not then? Said Lizzy. I just don't get this at all. Joe was quiet. Lizzy said, I let you cut me, which is not exactly a normal thing to do, and now I want to be blood brothers. Why are you making me beg? Am I asking you to do something awful?
Well, I mean, there's the fact that you're a girl.
Said Joe.
Well, we technically can't be blood brothers.
He said. Fine, okay, can we be blood siblings then?
I just don't think it's the best idea.
I didn't think it was the best idea to let you cut me, but I let you do it anyway. So what about that?
No, I just don't want to do it, okay?
Now Lizzy was quiet.
Look, leave it alone.
Said Joe.
The drunk lady's back.
Lizzy was quiet.
She's talking about her husband again.
Said Joe. Joe continued to watch the drunk lady, laughing a little bit. Lizzy stared straight ahead for a long moment. Finally, she looked forward. She put the palm of her hand on the cut to stop the bleeding.